Chiefs Kingdom. Can Andrew Walter Reid fix this Chiefs team? Let's talk about that. Oh, it's Christmas time, Mike, and I'm pumped. Look at us, all festive and shit. It's awesome. Let's go, baby. Just a few days. Chiefs trying to run it for everybody, but we're going to talk about today if Andy Reid can actually turn this team around. That way, we don't have such a bad Christmas next year. But before we get started, do us a favor. Hit that like button. That'll help us get out to more people. And also, shout out DraftKings for sponsoring today's live stream.
The next great touchdown is coming, and now you can bet on it. We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook because it has all your favorite ways to bet touchdowns this NFL season. DraftKings has industry-leading live betting market availability with dynamic odds that move with the game and more open live betting markets more often. Experience the game as a fan even further by getting in on the action now and using our promo code ACU when signing up. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
You like that, baby? The crown is yours. Download it. Use the promo code ACU. Help your boys out. How we doing, everybody? Get in the chat. Let us know how everybody's feeling this morning. A little daytime live stream for you. Let's get it going, baby. Mike, how you doing, man?
Well, better than yesterday. I'm a little festive
What changed?
today.
What changed, really?
Nothing changed. It's just one of those things. I had fun, like, being therapeutic with everybody last night. If you guys didn't watch our stream last night, and I'm sure you're not clicking on it if you haven't, because it's 3 hours long. And
We had a good little sesh, though.
Where do I start? But let me tell you, it was fun. People come in, they aired it out. They aired out their grievances. It's kind of like Festivus, where people are airing out their grievances. But look, yesterday was a rough game to watch, and it's not because anybody expected the win. Nobody expected this team to go in and win, but you expected the team to be able to compete with the worst team in the NFL. You expected Andy Reid and the coaching staff to play some of the younger guys so we see what we got going into 2026. That didn't happen. So it just felt like a conundrum of crap is what it felt like, and it was a tough watch and a tough swallow once it was done.
It was pretty bad, man. Not a whole lot to say about it other than just I really wish that the coaching staff would have took the opportunity to just see what we had in some of the young guys going forward. They didn't even do that. They just disappointed the fan base 110%. With they had to stay on theme for the season, so they didn't want to change it up too much. But we asked you guys what your questions, comments, and concerns were going forward for the Chiefs, and we have a few of those today, and we'll get into that right now, man. Mike, first up, we got Dadley Gaming. He said, I'd love for Mike McDaniel to be fired in Miami and come to OC for us. He can learn from Andy and take over play calling, then take over coaching when Andy retires. I trust Spags with the D for as long as he's willing to keep coaching. They regressed a bit this year, but I trust Spags if our offense can stop putting the defense in bad spots. Mike, that's a lot, but let's break that down real quick. He's talking about Mike McDaniel. The main thing that pops in my head when I think about Mike McDaniel is he's probably not going anywhere. I don't think the Dolphins are going to fire him.
Wow, but you don't?
No, I don't. I really don't. What else are they going to do? And I don't know if it's necessarily been Mike McDaniel's fault that they've fallen apart there. They gave him Tua. You have a quarterback that can't stay healthy and can't do a whole lot when he's not healthy. And, Tyreek Hill came in and had a monster season. And I think Achan's been really good. It's just I don't know if I can blame that all on Mike McDaniel. I think the personnel there was just a little odd to me. But I don't think they're going to fire him. But if they do, welcome aboard, sir. I'll take him as OC. We've talked about that a few times.
Look, you said he's got Tua, but he was the coach last year when they give him a 4-year, $212 million contract extension.
Yeah.
He wanted him. Like, you made your bed, lie in it. Okay.
He's not the GM.
I'm not bringing in Mike McDaniel to be the GM. So
Right.
Would I bring him in to take a look at this offense? Absolutely. I think him and Andy's style meshes a little bit. He's from the same coaching tree as like the Mike LaFleur's out there that you got from the Rams.
Old Shannarats.
So, yeah, it's the whole Shanahan. But look, come on. Look at what Shanahan's been able to do per se. Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. they had 1 year that kind of mimics what we had this year. Was it all the way back in 2020 where it just felt like their entire team was cursed? I believe Joey Bosa, or who was it? It was Nick.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, and there was another player that literally had ACL tears in the same exact game.
I know that. I remember that, and I know that like George Kittle's had his fair share of injuries.
So I'm just saying, look what he's done, and he's persevered through all those injuries. But he's made roster moves to go get McCaffrey because that freed up his offense. Maybe that means a Breece Hall could help here. They run a similar style West Coast thing. But what I'll say is if not for the Chiefs being so dynamic over these past 8 years because of Mahomes, the 49ers were this close to being that dynasty, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what I'm saying is that coaching tree is not bad. That coaching style is not bad. So those are all good possibilities. They've all went on to be successful in other places just about.
Yeah, so I mean, we're fans of Mike.
Do you want a
McDaniel.
Shanahan in Kansas City, though? That's your problem.
He's not a Shanahan, so I'll take him.
Well, Mike McDaniel. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't take
take
Kyle
McDaniel.
Shanahan, but I'll take Mike McDaniel.
Would you take Kyle Shanahan?
No, I don't think I would.
You don't think you would, huh?
I think it's more because of the hate for the Shanahan family, but also he knows how to choke bad. I mean, we're talking 28-3 in the Super Bowl choke. We've seen it over and over again with Shanahan. I just don't know if I want that juju in KC. I don't think so. And the name in Kansas City doesn't sound right. Mike, we got Herping, Pennsylvania. So his top concern is Andy and how he has lost this team. This is exactly how his downfall started in Philadelphia. Well, here's what we want to talk about a little bit, right? And Mike, I'm going to go ahead and put this one up too. Silicon77 said Andy Reid should just retire.
Hey, how's it going, Chiefs Kingdom, out there with Andy Reid today? And then we get one that says Andy Reid should retire. I think that just pretty much tells you where the sentiment is on like 90% of the fan base.
Mike, I've seen an overwhelming amount of the fan base turn on Andrew Walter Reid in the last week or two.
Not Walt. Don't turn on Walt like that.
They got old big Walt, baby. They're turning on him. And here's the thing. I understand it because it's not just that, okay, of course you have the people that's like, well, Andy's done so great since 2013. You have, just shut up. That's stupid to talk about firing him. I kind of tend to agree with that crowd, but I'm not as like, shut up. You have no right to say that type of person because I feel like anyone has feelings about that right now. They're warranted. They're warranted. And I think it's also stamped with history. They just look back to what happened in Philadelphia and they're like, shit, it's happening here. And we don't want no part of that. So, I mean, I get both sides of it. I'm going to stick with, I don't think Andrew Reid should be fired now, but I do think that it should come with the caveat of, hey, fix this offense by gutting your staff and getting some new ones.
Right. I've seen both sides of the argument. And here we are in 2025, and the funny thing is you see it everywhere. If you're not with the majority of the group think, you are shouted down and you're told that you shouldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Like that, and your name called and this and that. We've seen this with this debate as well. I seen yesterday that if you think Andy Reid should retire or should quit, you're not a fan, your takes are stupid, you should shut up. Yeah, you're an idiot. It's instant name calling. It's instant. You're not part of the fan base. It's instant cancel. I think people's got to start having conversations. Nobody's saying that Andy Reid is a bad coach. Nobody's saying Andy Reid hasn't been super successful. Nobody said he didn't help turn the page here. But you cannot look at the end of this run, capped by yesterday's game, and come to any other conclusion that Patrick Mahomes really helped Andy Reid get to the top of the mountain and over the hump he had in his entire coaching career where he couldn't win the big game, he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. That's what Patrick Mahomes has supplied for him. And in the meantime, everybody else kind of has the mentality as, well, now that Mahomes has given him that, and I've said this throughout the season, Mahomes has done so much for Reid. What's Reid kind of done for Mahomes over the past 3 years? Because he's not really adjusting. He's not really helping him out, bringing in, helping bring in players. His scheme's kind of getting stale. He's not helping him out. He won't help him out with a consistent run game. He won't put him under center. He won't run play action. There's a lot of things he's not doing that's hindering Patrick Mahomes' game. But yet Mahomes has done nothing but elevate Andy Reid's coaching stuff. So I think that it's kind of a relationship that's a little one-sided at this point.
It seems like it right now. I would say all in all, they've been a good combo, right? I think they're good for each other up until the last few years. And like you said, I feel like Andy's dropped the ball a little bit. I feel like he's let Patrick down. I doubt that's intentional, but it could be, by way of just being a slap nut, End of story. I think Andy has unintentionally hindered Patrick Mahomes for 3 years now. And here's the thing about it, man. Andy Reid, even the title of this video is, can Andy Reid actually fix this Chiefs team? Can he be the guy that gets this back on track? Because I'm pretty sure you guys, as much as you want it, Andy's not going nowhere. Unless Andy retires, he's not leaving Kansas City. He would have to seriously have a bad few seasons for them just to fire him instead of him retiring. But, overall, dude, Andy's known as one of the greatest program builders in NFL history. And the reason why I say that is because they look at what he did in Philadelphia, and then they look at what he did in Kansas City. And he goes in, he takes franchises that are at bottom of the barrel in the league, and he immediately turns them into perennial contenders. And he's done that twice. He did it with Philly. They were nothing. They were 3-13 in 1998, and was a laughing stock of the NFL when he took them over.
Is doing something 2 times though make you like just all out? You can't miss. You're perfect at it.
No, but hear me out though. Think about other coaches that are really good and held in that same tier of coaching, or like that same greatness. You could think about Belichick. You could think about a few other guys. Name any of them that's done this with 2 franchises. Because you saw, you've seen Belichick with different franchises. He didn't have nothing until he had Tom Brady, right? And that whole team. And then, I can't think of any coach off the top of my head that's just turned 2 franchises around that hardcore. Can you?
I didn't study for this quiz, but I'll say this. You see coaches all the time can turn things around in a positive direction. You kind of seen Zach Taylor do that in Cincinnati.
Not to this effect, though.
Not to this effect. I understand it. But they went from just scrub, and they've got an owner that hates their entire franchise. He's the cheapest person ever. He doesn't know how to run a team. They did get lucky with Burrow the same way we got it with Mahomes. They were able to get to a Super Bowl. They did lose. Then their whole slapnut franchise decided to abandon Burrow. He can't get any blockers. They sign off his pass catchers, but they give him no defense. He gets injured all the time. We don't want the Chiefs to kind of take that vibe, right? You can't let everything just fall on Mahomes' shoulder like they do with Burrow there in Cincinnati, because it will come crashing quick.
Right. But let me finish making my point on Andy Reid, though.
And I'm not trying to say, before anybody gets in the comments and says you're trying to compare the Chiefs to the Bengals, I'm not. I'm just saying that was a way to look at a coach that came into a dire situation and turned it around.
Right. But listen to what I'm about to tell you, and then tell me if you would ever put whatever his name is in the same conversation. Because Andy Reid took over, like I said, the Eagles in 1998 were 3-13, complete laughing stock. He ended up 14 seasons with the Eagles. He led them to the playoffs 9 times, 5 NFC championship games. And he remains the winningest coach in Eagles history.
But he only won one of those.
Okay.
So again, he could not get over the hump until you had a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, sure. But either way, he went and took over a Chiefs team that was 2-14, who was also a laughing stock. We remember the little Palco scissor kicks while he threw, and it was a complete joke to even watch the Chiefs at that point. And then he turned them around, right? In the first year he was there, he took them to a 9-game improvement, had them at 11-5. Of course, he got Alex Smith to come along with him too, so he did get an upgrade in the quarterback situation. But everyone knows what he's done with the Chiefs. In 13 years, he's won 3 Super Bowls, and we don't even have to get into everything else on that accolade list. So I just don't think there's been any other coach that has been able to just go into 2 different franchises and completely turn them around, and not just turn them around for a little while, like whatever the coach you just mentioned. I can't think of his name because that's how irrelevant he is. And it's like, I just don't think that anyone's ever done that for such a long period of time, because Andy didn't do it for just, hey, we turned it around for a season or 2. He's done it in like a decades long. Like, he's turned them into like competitive, respectable franchises, as opposed to just a flash in the pan like the Bengals were. So I don't know. All that being said, very long-winded to say, Do you think Andy is the right guy for the job? Like, do you think he can reevaluate with the same franchise and turn it back around and start that all over again? Can he turn that clock back and redo it?
Yes, because of Patrick Mahomes. That's always going to be my answer. Because even what you explained that Andy done in Kansas City, yes, he did turn us into a playoff team. He did it with Alex Smith. But nothing in me says that Alex Smith and that Chiefs team would have got over the hump and won a Super Bowl. I just don't see it. He got there, and he's maintained this much success because of Patrick Mahomes. Can he rebuild this team? Absolutely, because of Patrick Mahomes. Go back and look at Belichick, what he was able to do at the Patriots. He had 2 successful 10-year run dynasties, basically. He had a big 10-year gap in the middle or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. He won 3, 10-year gap, wins 3 more. He goes to all those. He misses the playoff maybe twice in that entire 20-year run. Brady leaves, and then Belichick gets stuck with a mediocre quarterback, such as Mac Jones or whoever else he had over there, Bailey Zappi. And guess what? Belichick gets ran out of town. So as good as Belichick was, possibly the best to ever do it, without Tom Brady, he sucked. He goes to North Carolina and thinks they're going to do something. He can't even win at the college level. He had to hire Bobby Petrino today to come in and be his offensive coordinator. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Coaches are fine, but coaches need players.
Right.
Phil Jackson would have never been nothing without Michael Jordan.
Correct. But here's the thing, too. These coaches have to make the right decisions. And
that's where Andy and the coaching staff and the entire organization seems to be dropping the ball a little bit, because Andy, in his old age, can't stop being the buddy, giving my friend a job over here.
Right, and even just the personnel decisions we've seen this year. Not saying that we have a Michael Jordan on the bench per se, but like you got Michael Jordan on the bench and you got Luke Longley on the court. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the personnel decisions they're making.
Can I offer you this? And so we always talk about Andy's scheme is stale. It revolves around Patrick Mahomes having to get an initial play. The play gets blown up because the defense already knows what it is. It's too predictable. The routes are bad. The route trees are horrible. The combinations suck. Everything about it sucks. Okay, the only people that can't figure it out are rookies and free agents we bring in for some reason. But every other defense knows it. And then yesterday you seen us come out with a backup, Gardner Minshew. He's been with this team now for almost a year. Yes, he wasn't getting reps. He wasn't doing this, but he's been learning behind Patrick Mahomes, sitting in the room, learning the offense, doing reps in practice, doing camp. He's went through the whole season. He had a whole week to prepare for the Titans this week. He comes out. He gets injured. He was very ineffective right off the bat. And then you see Chris Oladokun come in, a different style of quarterback. I'm not saying Oladokun set the world on fire, but the offense moved a little bit. But why do you think that is? Because Oladokun mimics Mahomes' game a little bit closer than what Minshew does. And what Oladokun was doing was taking the initial play like Mahomes does, the play gets blown up, and then Oladokun was doing stuff with his legs and being a little bit creative outside the pocket. That's why the offense was moving. So it wasn't moving because of Andy Reid's offense. It was moving because of Oladokun's mobility and creativeness, which he's miniature, not even in the ballpark as Patrick Mahomes. But that's what I'm trying to say. That's the problem with the offense. You seen it yesterday. A set pocket passer, Minshew, can't do anything with a stale offense, but then you get somebody that maybe isn't a better quarterback, but they're a little more mobile, can create. Now you do better because the offense is always so stale and bad.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I think that's, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head here. It's the stale offense. You keep saying stale offense. Well, that's the problem. So, Mike, if I were to just if someone came up to me and they were like, dude, what's the problem with Andy Reid? He's an offensive genius, right? I could kind of break it down. If I really thought about it, I could break it down just a little bit. And it's like, if you just go back to what is Andy Reid's offense? It's literally a West Coast,
style
spread hybrid, but I think it's more of a living system than what a lot of them are. So and that's where it's died out. And hear me out, because normally Andy Reid is great at taking on the league's new trends and adding plays to the playbook and changing it up just a little bit here or there, putting his little put a little salt on it, make it better. But Andy's not been doing that. We've been running the same plays for 5 years now. It's kind of getting stale, but I mean, just overall in Andy's offense, it's West Coast principles, right? So they're going to horizontal stretch. They're going to get yards after the catch. I think the playbook's always considered hard and crazy, but I think that's more of it's just very wordy. It's just complex verbiage, I guess. But like, I still don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. These rookies could be playing, but either way, he kind of innovated into a West Coast offense to spread it out a little bit even more in the air raid thing. Andy's always been about the air raid, about the deep shots, and that's his thing. And then he's got his little secret sauce where it's a lot of motion and a lot of manipulation and tricking the defenses and just, trying to be savvy. You put all that together and you got Andy Reid's offense, correct? But the thing that he's missing this year is he hasn't gone into his laboratory. And he's been missing it for 2-3 years probably. He's yet to go into his lab, Mike, and adapt to where the league is since 2022. He's not changed any of the playbook. He's not adapted any of the new trends in the league. He's not paid attention to any of the trends in the league. He just continuously keeps doing what he's been doing for 3-4 years. It's not working. And Patrick Mahomes can't bail him out anymore. Patrick officially reached his limit of bailing out Andy Reid.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that. I don't think that we've seen the same creativeness over the past few years. Now, look, I will say that he did like a variation of like corn dog. That's like the most innovative play we've seen him run in the past few years.
And that wasn't even creative, honestly. It was just like, hey, look, their defenders are dumb, and here we're just going to trick them real quick, Like that wasn't
Right.
it wasn't rocket science.
I think where it gets the most stale, and I think a lot of people agree with this, I think it gets the most stale in the red zone. Like that deep red zone, it just feels horrible. Like it got to a point where Andy and them just started getting like really like overly cute about everything. It's like every time we got in the red zone, we had to do reverses, end rounds, crazy wildcat plays. We were doing all kinds of stuff rather than just doing something basic and getting under center and just pounding the rock when it called for it. Letting Mahomes come back in the pocket, set up a nice play for somebody, run a little. I mean, look, all these receivers run all the time are mesh and stick routes. There ain't nothing to the offense, like you said. It feels so boring and mundane that's all it's become is mesh routes and stick routes. And then you've got 2 or 3. Like, we can't even scheme the fastest guy to ever run in a combine that everybody creamed themselves over when we drafted him. And we can't even figure out how to get this guy open in space.
Right. Yeah.
This is how stale this offense has become.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with Xavier Worthy too, Mike. I mean, you're making really, really good points today. It's just like we have all the little tools that Andy would normally love to have, right?
Right.
Like it's like he's got he's in a toy store and he can't figure out what to do. It drives me nuts because, I mean, Andy's always been that guy that can adapt and be creative and just do things like that. But it's just...
He's in the toy store. He's in Macy's. But you know what? He don't have any batteries. He can't play with none of the toys.
Where are the batteries at, Andy Reid?
Where are the batteries at, Andy? Go find a battery. And you got a big dead battery following you around on the sideline. That's Matt Nagy. Throw that dude in the trash and let's get somebody else.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I don't know. I think in the league, you've seen the league kind of changing in the last couple of years. And it kind of coincides with each other. Because we're talking about Andy in the last 2 or 3 years. His offense has gotten stale. It's not working. It's just not good. And then you start looking at how the trends in the NFL have gone since then. And it kind of makes sense, Mike. Like, things are changing, but Andy's not changing. Because, I mean, like, if you really look at, like, what the trends are in the NFL right now, there's a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. It's like they use the heavy personnel. And then, I mean, Reid does that quite a bit, but not as much this year as you would like to see. I mean, you would like to see him play 2-3 tight ends at a time. But there were times this year, Mike, where we were like, is Robert Tonyan going to see the football field? Is Jared Wiley ever going to get into this offense? We did see some Noah Gray along with Travis Kelce, but I mean, it's what it is. I think we saw less of it than we wanted to see. And then also, you know, just returning back under center and running the ball from under center and play action, stuff like that. You're seeing all that make a comeback. I mean, shotgun has been king in the NFL, and it still is. But you've seen a big trend of guys getting back under center. Have you noticed that? And getting back to the running game. And that's what Andy's not adapted to. And it makes sense because Andy's never been a guy that wants to run the football. And I would say this too. I would say these are the guys that, I think that are ahead of the curve and where Andy needs to get caught up with. And I can probably mention just 2 OCs right now that have kind of, got us to the point we're at in the NFL and like with the trends and just the way things are going. And that is Ben Johnson. And I would probably go Seattle with Clint Kubiak. Those 2 guys are heavily responsible.
And
for
both come right in and succeeded quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that they're very responsible for how the NFL shifted offensively.
Yeah.
And,
the NFL has shifted.
behind.
And look, I just found something that correlates what you just said. So everybody that thinks Steve is a slapnut, he don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to go ahead and fix him. Check this out. I went back and looked. Highest total season passing yards in NFL history for a passer. And let's just bring up the top 30. This is the top 30 right now on recorded history of the top passers in the league. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Peyton Manning had 54.77 in the season. Drew Brees is number 2. He missed it by 1 yard. Patrick Mahomes in 2022, 5,250. Steve, you just said the league shifted in 2022. And yes, Patrick Mahomes shifted, and the only thing that got him was that too high cover shell, and it was right at the end of 2022. Right. But Patrick Mahomes was on fire that whole year because of the way the offenses were going. When the defense adjusted to that, look at that. How many top 16 players do you see on this board here from the year 2022 and on?
Right.
0. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's go to 17 to 30. How many there do you see from 2022? You see Joe Burrow in 2024, and that's it. So Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow since 2022 has had over 4,500 passing yards in the NFL. This is how much the NFL has went. It's not a slinging around, heavy passing league anymore. It has shifted because of that stupid too high cover shell. This is why they all wanted to get it out of there. The teams that are winning are the teams that are building solid defenses, running the ball a little bit, and they throw it when they need to successfully.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I would say that I would kind of look no further than the LA Rams to see where Andy Reid should be. Because McVay runs a similar offense to Andy Reid's West Coast style offense. But guess what? He's adapted. Dude, he had Kyron Williams just killing the league last season.
Absolutely.
And then
Steve, I don't think I could have ever give you more validation on a point than what I just supplied for you. And that was brotherly love right there. I think that just about supports every single thing we've said for weeks about how the league is changing. It's not a throw it around league. Like, we all want Patrick Mahomes to go back out there and sling for 5,000. But I just don't think the league's set up for that because of what the defenses are doing. So you have to essentially take what the defenses are giving you, and Andy wants to keep pushing it, and he's up Patrick's ass to keep pushing it, and he's forcing it, and he's turning the ball over, and our receivers can't get open because it's stale. I'm telling you right now that's one of the big reasons is that the entire league has changed.
Andy's trying to fight the entire change of the league, like by himself. He's like, no, I'm going to still sling the football, and it's just not how it works.
You almost need to adapt to it the way like Ben Johnson did, and he still
absolutely. Do you think Ben Johnson and Clint Kubiak, like as offensive coordinators, do you think they wouldn't like to go out and just completely air raid, show off, be crazy, have fun?
In Detroit, Ben Johnson would try that. He would hit his chances, and he was doing it with Goff. But at least he had some receivers there that could get out and catch the ball, like Amon-Ra St. Brown. We don't have a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown that you can always rely on. I guess our closest one would have been Kelsey in his prime. If you take that away, Rashee Rice. But I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, anybody's taking him over Rashee Rice.
Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown let me down yesterday.
Well, you play fantasy football, and if you play fantasy football, you will find a way to hate everybody in the NFL.
Absolutely. Kick them while they're down, Shout out Romastamo with the 5 bomb here. It says Aaron Rodgers has made several help me out here, Mike.
Million completing it to MVS.
Who looked completely useless in Andy's system. Well, okay. I'll say this, Romastamo. I think MVS kind of sucked in Green Bay too.
Oh, he stunk.
He was a ball dropper.
Did he drop one yesterday?
Yeah. Like, the MVS is like, his whole thing was, I'm tall, I'm fast. Like, that's always been his thing. Like, I'm a deep threat. I'm a home run ball guy. And yeah, Rodgers did hit him a few times, but Mahomes also hit him a few times too. But
Dude,
overall,
he probably dropped 5 or 6 that Mahomes hit. I mean, just think about the Green Bay Packers game where he just had it in his hand and drops one. And
he stinks.
I do get
He's
your
just not
point, though,
good.
because I believe that we've said that the Andy Reid offense has kind of gotten stale since the fullback, and I believe there's something to that fullback. I believe in this modern world where they're taking away the over the top and they're forcing you to run the ball, I think a fullback would be perfect right now, and Andy won't do it.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
also, I do think what MVS was able to provide for this offense, even when our receivers sucked across the board, was kind of invaluable because he did stretch the field a lot better than we're seeing these younger guys do it. They tried to get Justin Watson to do it last year, the year before. He couldn't really do it to the same effect, but even Justin Watson had made a few plays for us last year.
Great.
And you're not even really seeing
We
that
kind
this
of
year.
missed that little glue guy, didn't we? Kind of missed Justin Watson.
Yeah, do you
this year.
have that on the roster this year? No, you've got Rice, who basically teams are trying to take him away like Kelsey now. And look, Hollywood Brown, he's been underperforming and underwhelming, but there were games where Hollywood Brown looked really good this year. He caught a couple deep balls that sparked some offensive drives for us during that little 3-game run we had where we thought that everything was coming together. And then Worthy's just been playing hurt. So I do get it. There's been tons and tons of injuries this year, and it does kind of feel like the 2020 49ers in a way with that. It feels like a cursed season. I mean, look no further than the ACL stuff with Mahomes and Minshew. Do you know that we're the only team in NFL history, that's had a quarterback and their backup quarterback injured in the same season with an ACL injury?
That was in a week, brother.
And they did it in a week, within 8 plays of each other.
Did they confirm that on Gardner yet?
I mean, it's almost pretty much confirmed.
I saw where Matt Derrick had said something about it, and that's what they were speculating about.
Their
it.
MRI, and I mean, I'm almost positive they MRI'd him last night.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's just Gardner Minshew. It's not
I
going to draw
guess-
as much happiness and
Yeah, I guess just to play devil's advocate on
crazy from the league.
to play devil's advocate on your point here, Tiger Atlas. Like there are a lot of receivers that have been better in Andy Reid's system than they are when they leave it. And I mean, some of the biggest names in football, I think, were at their best in Andy Reid's system. I mean, you could argue that with Terrell Owens. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a lot of good years, but you could argue that. Obviously, you had Deshaun Jackson, who I don't think would have been as successful in his career outside of Andy Reid's system. Tyreek Hill was made in Andy Reid's system.
I will say, though, he did do very well in Miami.
1 year.
But I
go
will
back-
say
if
that
you go back to
he
it,
also
there's-
had Tua.
That's also it. Also makes sense if you
They
look at
did
how this all
force
ended
it
up.
on him. really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was high volume and it got him hurt. Like he stayed banged up. So I mean, he had a lot of stats that first year, but I still think he was better overall in Reid's system than he was.
Did you take that,
in
though?
Miami. What?
Would our offense be better if we just high volume targeted Worthy until he just give out? And then you pick another guy
I
and high
think-
volume target him?
I think there's a happy medium there. I think there are games where we should do that, absolutely, and we never do it. Like there are games where we should just pick
You seen
on
where we
one
did that versus
DB
Buffalo
or-
last year where he was a rookie, and boy, we were eating them alive.
Yeah, that's something that we've been missing. And I think, like, sometimes what I've been saying all year, I was like, we got to scheme guys open. We got to go to certain guys. I think it gets misconstrued sometimes. I'm not, exactly saying it the way I want to, but that might be it. Maybe my whole thing is, why can't we just play through one player that we never, ever follow the hot
One
hand in
player
Kansas
that
City.
is
Ever.
hot that day, yes.
We never do it. We don't even do it with the running backs. When we got a hot hand, we'll go away from it every time. It drives me insane.
The only time Andy will come back to you is when you fumble. Then he's
He
right
will
back
do
to
that.
you.
Or if you
He
throw
will
a
do
pick,
that.
he'll tell you get out there and throw you a deep ball.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a little bit more of that. I really do. I think there needs to be a little bit more of just.
Dude, we did it with Kelsey quite a bit over the years.
Well, I feel like there's a lot
But-
of teams that do that. Like the whole Devontae Adams. Every team that gets him is Devontae Adams.
Puka,
Or like
right now.
Right. Or back when they just had Cooper Kupp. Like they had good wide receivers, like serviceable, probably better than ours. Maybe
Yeah.
not this year, but what Mahomes has had. We've never did it. We didn't even do it when we had like DeMarcus Robinson and all them.
Right. Shout out our boy Shane here, been a member for 26 months, probably longer. Says it's crazy how we won't switch it up, even though we know it don't work. But when we find something that does work, cough, Thornton, we go away from it. This
That's a
goes
good-
along exactly what we're talking
Yes,
about
that's
right
exactly
now.
what we're saying right now.
Absolutely, because I would consider what Thornton was doing in the first few games of the year a hot hand. Like, hey, Kid's putting in the work. It's working out. They have the chemistry. Things are going his way a little bit. And then we're just
he
like,
was
no.
Steve. He was killing it since camp. Like he was on a run in Kansas City, and then like it was about the time Rashee Rice come back, and it would have been fine if you just want to run your offense through Rashee Rice. But you seen them do that for a week or two when the offense started to take off,
Right.
and then they pulled back out and started doing the whole whatever they're doing, and it never got back.
It goes back to Andy's stubbornness, and it also goes back to something that you mentioned last night in a live stream, Mike. Sometimes Andy seems like that guy that's a freaking genius, but he has no common sense. Like, it's like sometimes like the obvious answer, he overlooks it. He outsmarts himself. We've been saying that for years. And I think that just goes along with everything that we're talking about right now.
Like the video where the girl works in the diner and she turns the cap of the ketchup and pushes it through so it goes into, and then the guy's looking at him because you're like, just take the cap off and the hole's bigger. It's kind of
like when it's the obvious answer.
like you're overthinking the smallest things because your brain's so big.
Yeah, like I feel like Andy looks at it the same way we do, right? Like he probably obviously has way more thoughts about the Chiefs' offense than we've ever.
Andy's
thought about.
forgotten more things about that offense
Right.
than we'll ever know.
So what's funny is when Andy sits down to it, it's more complex to him. He's like thought about this so long that he misses the obvious sometimes. Sometimes he just misses that obvious.
What's that cartoon where that guy had that big ass braid head? You know what I'm talking about? Where his braid was just really
You talking
huge?
about Max Headroom or something?
I don't know.
I don't
that
even
might be
know.
Andy.
You talking about Megamind? I don't
We need to
know.
get Andy to look like the dude from the Ninja Turtles that walked around with the brain inside of him. You know?
What was his name? Crane.
Yeah, he needs to get more like Crane. You know?
Let's go.
Think outside the box here.
Perry with the 2 bomb. T.O.'s success with Andy makes you wonder why Andy hates exes. That's true too. And well, we all hate our exes, right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. Andy's always, to me, if you go back to like Philadelphia, he always had like favorite targets to me. Because you think about T.O., you think about Deshaun Watson.
I'm gonna find that.
And then,
Let's
and then
see
when,
who
when he got in KC, it's like, oh, let's spread the ball around to everybody and their grandmother. Like, think about that. It's kind of weird. But appreciate the Perry.
When did Andy get there? Was it 99?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's just go back and look who Eagles' top wide receivers were during those years. I want to see how many receptions they would just about have.
He did exactly what you're talking about earlier, Mike, with T.O. Because they were known. It was around 2004,
Yeah,
2005.
T.O. was known to be that dominant.
Well, that's the thing. Before the Eagles had T.O., before that was a thing, they were known for dinking and dunking. That was actually the thing that everybody talked about Andy Reid. Oh, they dink and dunk. They don't do anything. And then Reid kind of adjusted his entire offense to just force feed T.O. on slant and go routes. If you remember that. It's like, so Andy does have it in him to do exactly what you said and just beat somebody with a good player. So that's the thing. Why do we not ever go get that dominant guy and just beat the crap out of somebody with him? We won't force feed anybody anymore. But Andy has done it in his past. I mean, the result of that, that season, where he kind of switched it up and just started going off and force feeding T.O., T.O. ended up with 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns in just 14 games. So, I mean, he can do it, but it's like, are we going to do it? Will we ever do that? I don't know. I think Andy's got to get out of the... Andy's a socialist when it comes to football. He thinks he's got to spread it around to everybody.
He is.
You know? It's
And
like
everybody
sometimes that's not the
loses.
case. That's exactly what's happening here. We got to get in the
Yeah, I'm
bread
not-
line. We got to get in the
Good
bread line
night.
to get a touchdown. You know?
Yeah, get
not
out of here
working
with
out.
that. You go to whoever's better, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not finding the exact numbers here, but I will say his first few years in Philly, man, around 2000, his best wide receiver may have been Todd Pinkston. That's saying something.
Our amazing running back coach we have right now.
Yeah, a mid wide receiver in the NFL. Let's turn him into a.
Well, that's another thing. Kind of went along with what Romastamo was saying. Like, how come MVS was good with Green Bay but not with the Chiefs? But I mean, there's several players like that. Like Andy made Jeremy Maclin a good receiver. Think about that. Andy's system made Albert Wilson a good enough receiver to get paid. it made Demarcus Robinson a good enough receiver to move on. So I mean, I think it does help them, but at the same time, like I'm kind of with. They need to like simplify this thing. They've got to, first of all, they got to get with the trends of what the league's doing. If the league's a run heavy league and they're getting back to more under center stuff and the defenses have got the West Coast offense and what Andy does figured out, then it's time to go along with it. But that's the thing. You can still put your own twist on it. And that's what's always made Andy so great. It's like, here are the trends of the league. Here's my system that's great. Let's combine them. Let's do something new and fresh and stay ahead of the curve. And Andy's not doing that anymore. Like, he's got to figure out a way to utilize this.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. Just by having a quick glance, when Andy started to be successful, when he had his first 11-5 season in 2001, that's when he really turned it around. Just take one look at the way the players shaped up, and the leading receiver on the team had 108 targets, James Thrash. So they did run their offense through basically one receiver. Their wide receiver 2, Todd Pinkston, still had 84 targets, and he had 580 yards. But the big one might be the fact that Deuce Staley, the running back, had 91 targets out of the backfield. So
we don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore, and that was a big reason that the Andy Reid offense were so successful, because we don't have a running back, and that's why the Jerick McKinnon days were so good, because he was able to do that. We've kind of went away from lots of things. The fullback, getting the running backs more involved in the passing game.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things there, and
is
it all on Pacheco? I mean, look, when they want to get Pacheco the ball, he can do it. You've seen it all day yesterday.
So when you look at it through that lens, Mike, has Andy tried to adjust and just had a misfire, like a little miscue there? Because like he's kind of gotten away from his actual system and the offense that you're talking about that's always worked for Andy with the fullbacks passing to the running backs, all this kind of stuff. He went away from that. Was that the wrong thing to do? He should have been kind of forming a different way. So maybe he just took a little misstep. Maybe that's what Andy needs to do. Is
maybe he needs to get back to his OG style, because technically working it to the running back a lot, doing things like that should beat a shell defense, a cover 2 shell. That should help beat that. But I think that he just don't have the guys to do it. But I mean, again, this is also on Andy and the team. Like, you are the ones drafting and having the final say. If Andy didn't want Brashard Smith and he wanted somebody else, say you wanted a running back in round 2 or round 3, go get him. Like, who cares what Brett Veach says? Like, be like, this is my team. I want this guy.
Yep. Shout out Carolyn watching on Facebook. We appreciate you. She says y'all act like he's done nothing this year. Andy, the only thing Andy has done this season is butcher a high quality tier team.
Look, we've got tons of comments, and they're from a lot of Carolyns in the world. And I've noticed that the Carolyns of the world think that football fans are not allowed to talk about football. You're also not allowed to critique anybody. That's not the case, okay? Like, you may be new to the game. You may have come in when Taylor introduced you to it. I don't know what the deal is, but you're allowed to talk about the coaches and players not having good seasons. And if you look at this season and think Andy Reid done anything well this year, I can name one thing Andy did a little bit better this year. He was a little more aggressive in times where he should have been aggressive on 4th down. But I think that come out of necessity, because by week 6, we were struggling to get in the playoff picture. And then you seen it bite him on the ass when it actually mattered versus the Texans, and he goes forward on 4th down with an entire quarter to go when your defense is killing it.
To go hand in hand with that.
So he actually couldn't figure that one out.
To go hand in hand with that, Andy started to commit to the run game a little bit more around the time that we beat the Colts and we're trending in the right direction.
Right. So,
and then he pulled the rug out from under it just like that the next week.
Again, look, it's the same comments from the same styles of people. I got one yesterday that said, we're part of the problem. We're part of the problem because we're asking questions about why the coaching staff can't get it together. We're part of the problem because we're having a football conversation and asking why Andy Reid should be not on the hot seat for hiring and keeping guys like Matt Nagy around. You guys want Matt Nagy fired every other day. You've been saying this for 3 years. Who do you think employs Matt Nagy? It's Andy Reid.
Maybe they're right, Mike. Maybe the team spent too much time watching all chiefed up and wondering why these two guys are talking about football, and they weren't worried about their own.
They didn't even know. They were like, wait, we got to play football? I just thought we listened to them talk about football.
We're part of the problem.
It's ridiculous. Okay, cool. I'm part of the problem. We suck this year.
Ramostamo
Shut
with the
up.
10 says you might be right about Andy overthinking, but it could be that he's complacent now and believes too much in his past record. Success is a harder test of a man's character than adversity. I would agree with that statement, and I think that's a possibility too. Maybe Andy did get too comfortable. You know, when things, if you think about it, Mike, we've been saying like the offense is stale and it's not working for, let's just say 3 seasons, and that's being generous. Right, 3
Well,
seasons.
you just seen in 2022, Mahomes had one of the highest passing totals
right.
in history. So I don't know if we count 2022. So we'll say from 2023 on.
Right, so 23, 24, and 25 this
Right.
year. So 3
So 3
seasons.
years. All Nagy years.
Yeah, but we've seen over these 3 years, Mike, what's been the end result? 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them, and then this year a crash out.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like Ramostamo might be onto something here. Andy's success and the fact that they were winning the way they were winning allowed him to stay complacent. Because it's like, oh, well, we're winning.
Oh,
Won the Super
absolutely,
Bowl,
because I
got to
believe
the Super Bowl
even-
here, you know.
Even last year, this team was on the verge of doing this exact same implosion.
But the ball bounced their way.
The
a lot.
ball was just bouncing their way.
Agreed.
And then you seen in the Super Bowl when you come out and you had a little bit of a misfire and the other team didn't have anything go bad against them. It was a ass whooping, belt to ass. It was nasty to look at. And this team hasn't been the same since still.
Yeah.
So again, you may have had this implosion last year if we just would have got, not had as many lucky breaks because we were dealing with injuries last year. Pacheco went down. You had to go to Kareem Hunt. All these things were happening last year, but good old Patrick Mahomes, he could always cover up and save the day a lot.
Until you just can't no more. And that's where we're at.
He's been carrying this team so long,
Yeah.
his poor knee give out. Okay.
Yeah,
Literally.
That's true. I think we all realize that. If you hadn't realized that already, which I don't know how you hadn't, I think a lot of people came to that conclusion yesterday. Like, oh, wait, this is what we are minus Patrick
That's
Mahomes?
exactly what we are without Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a knock
We
on
are
Andy
the Todd
Reid.
Haley.
Look, that's not a knock
we are
on
the
Andy
Romeo
Reid.
Crennel.
Right, and people
all
don't
those
understand
teams.
this. By saying that Andy Reid's career has been made because of Patrick Mahomes, that is the truth.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes would have made a lot of people's careers if you would have drafted him in.
Andy was successful. Andy would have been successful. Andy would not be what he is right now.
Right. You put Patrick Mahomes in Buffalo, and Sean McDermott might look like he's the greatest coach to ever live. It's possible. You put him in Cincinnati, and maybe Zach Taylor becomes the greatest coach to ever live. You don't know how it's really going to work out. Put him in Dallas. I think you wouldn't have had so many coaching changes down there. Patrick Mahomes has done a lot for Andy Reid. And again, not saying Andy's not been successful, but Patrick has put him over the hump. And a lot of people are like, well, if you guys want to fire Andy Reid, well, nobody's going to want to come here. Why do you want to come here? What do you mean? You're getting ready to take over Patrick Mahomes at 31 years old. Yes, he's coming off a knee injury, but he's still in the prime of his career for 10 more years. You're right in the middle of a dynasty. Every coach in America would be knocking down the door to get in here. So why do people think that if Andy Reid left, we're just automatically going to go back to Romeo Crennel?
I get it. I understand because Andy came in. Well, here's the thing, though.
Well, people are scared, but
if you take
Mahomes made it.
If you take Patrick Mahomes out of the equation, Andy literally just repeated what he did in Philly.
Yes.
Honestly, because if you think about it, if we would have had Alex Smith, we would have got to the playoffs a lot.
Yeah,
we might
you
have
would
even
have
got to
got to
some
maybe
AFC.
the
We might have got
AFC
some to AFC
championships.
championships, but we would have never won a ring. Patrick Mahomes definitely did that for Andy. So Perry with the 5 bomb says Nate Taylor believes outside of Simmons, the rest of the picks have been the staff's picks instead of the front office, and expect a shift this year.
Wait. He's saying that last year's draft, Josh Simmons was Brett Veach's pick, and everybody else, the staff
Andy
just
Reid.
picked and chose who they wanted.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that, Perry. I think that's Nate Taylor trying to sound smarter than he is. Maybe I don't know. That don't sound right to me.
That doesn't sound right to me either.
I mean, we've kind of they're kind of pretty candid about how they go about this thing. You've seen videos of them in the war room. You've seen them talk about this stuff. I think this is something that they all sit around. Veach has his staff, which I know you can call all this stuff and it's confusing, but Veach has his staff, right? The people that help him. He's got an assistant GM, he's got scouts, he's got this and that. So he's got his staff. And then you have the coaching staff. And I think that they all work together to come up with these draft picks. And I think everyone has a say in it. So I don't know. I just feel like that's a very odd thing. Like, oh, well, Andy's picked every pick. The only pick Brett Veach has ever picked is Josh Simmons. That's crazy.
That's wild. Crazy. So Veach is taking credit for the best pick. Ooh, good job.
He took credit for Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And then he's going to take credit for this.
Here's what I think that was probably told to Nate Taylor, and it come across wrong. More than likely what happened is we said, look, this is the strength of the draft in round 3 for corners. We need a corner. Dave Merritt, who's your favorite corner in round 3 once we get there? And he probably said, I like Noah Williams. Then they probably took him. Hey, we're going to take a running back late. Damian Martinez went off the board a few picks. Who do we got left? Pinkston, Reed, who do y'all want? And they probably said, we kind of like Brashard Smith. They probably took, but I don't think they went into the draft that was like, I want Brashard Smith, and I don't care where we get him. We have to get him, and only him. And then, Dave Merritt's like, only Noah Williams over here.
Brett, you don't have a say.
Yeah,
you
Brett,
and your staff,
shut the hell up and sit down.
You're in charge of nothing.
Look, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Nate Taylor, but maybe people just heard it wrong, or maybe he give it out.
I definitely think that's
maybe he's right. If he's right, that just shows the dysfunction of the organization. So I don't know if I'd want to brag about that.
If he's right, that's crazy. Shout out our boy Enrique, been a member for 26 months. Says Andy Reid is trying hard to become a slapnut. Yeah, it would seem that way, and we're all trying to help him not. We're trying to guide him in the right direction, the non-slapnut direction. But we appreciate you, Enrique. It's good to see you, by the way. I hope you've been doing good, man. And we got Night Flyer with the 5 bomb. Says, just found your channel. Love it. Appreciate brutal honesty. Have a Merry Christmas, fellas. We appreciate that, man. We try to keep it real here at All Chiefed Up. I think everybody's been here a long time knows that. We're fans that made a channel for fans. We say what we're thinking. We wear our hearts on our sleeves when it comes to the Chiefs. We have raw emotions after the games. We don't try to be politically correct. We don't try to blow smoke up everybody's ass. We don't do any of that stuff. So, we just say what we're thinking, and you either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
But, everybody has a place here on the channel. If you got an opinion, it could be complete opposite of ours. You're allowed to express it in the chat, and we respect that. But we're glad that you found us too, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're always going to tell how it is, man, because we're fans. And it's not like you're trying, but we're not going to be fake. We're not going to do fake reaction videos and put them out for clicks.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to sit around watching a game for 4 hours with a camera on me to scream and go crazy when one mediocre play happens to post it later. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and even yesterday, we had somebody who had, they wanted to email us and be like, you're too negative after yesterday's game. I'm not going to watch the channel anymore.
Bro, there's no way to be anything but negative right now.
You didn't have to announce it. Hey, you could have just walked. But look, you're not everybody's cup of tea. You tell it how it is. You're going to offend people. You don't always. Nobody in the world has the same. I think we've learned this with politics and everything in the year 2025. But again, you don't agree with one or two little things we say, so you're going to turn the channel off and send me a strongly worded email? Dude, grow up. Like everybody, like you can watch, like I watch plenty of stuff all day long that I don't really necessarily agree with. I watch Good Mythical Morning, Steve, and I don't particularly like Rhett and Link's taste in chips, okay? But I don't send them an email and tell them I'm not watching their channel anymore.
They pick some terrible decisions in the restaurant battles sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, chill out. Like, I know that everybody wants to be coddled, but for God's sakes, learn something and listen to a perspective that may be a little bit different. And I appreciate you, Night Flyer, because it sounds like
let's go, baby.
You have some common sense.
We need more Night Flyers out there in the world. Trying to grow the channel. Do us a favor. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do that. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're the #1 independent Chiefs channel on YouTube, so you want to be a part of this. We do a lot of Chiefs content, and we're going to continue to grow. And it's just a fun space to be in. Real quick, Mike, want to shout out Zarda for sponsoring today's live stream as well. Get over to Zarda if you can in the Blue Springs or Lenexa areas. You can grab yourself an $11 lunch. They also have some really good food in there, guys. Underrated as hell. Get over to Zarda. Get yourself a KC takeaway, the Ashton Gelati sandwich. They also have these wings that they have now that are immaculate, and they have the best sauces in the games. Also, if you want to get you a side of baked beans with that stuff, because you're not going to regret it.
Steve, you're like the baked bean truther for Zarda.
Yes, because it's like the little hidden gem, It's like
everybody
talks about the baked
Zarda
beans.
told us to, hey, push the baked beans, but you will do it every time. You are a baked beans truther.
They're a hidden gem. The baked beans at Zarda is a hidden gem.
I've ate at Zarda probably like 20 times in my life. I don't know if I've ever tried the baked beans.
You screwed up. And I'm just trying to let everybody
I
else
think
know not to do the same
as
thing
my
you did.
brother, you should have offered at least a morsel of a bite.
I
to try
did.
it
I've
out.
probably had them before and be like, dude, you got to try this.
No, if I would have tried to steal it, you'd probably chop my arm off the way you're talking about the baked beans, bro.
Or that. And the best sauces in the game. Zarda Ghost is the best sauce on the planet.
They
And
do.
I'll argue that with anybody. Perry with the 2 here says Simmons being the obvious pick, not a Veach pick. 100%. I don't think that was a Veach pick. I think that was a, dude, there's no way you can't take this pick. Mike, we covered the draft last season like we always do. And the whole time in our head, we're sitting there thinking, and you know, we might have even said it. I don't remember. I can't remember everything that we said back then. But we had this hunch that they were going to end up with Luther Burden. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we had this big hunch that we thought
Because
they might
and
try
why
that.
did we think they were going to end up with Luther Burden? Because Josh Simmons was not going to be available. I think I said it straight up. I don't think Josh Simmons makes it past
Yeah.
pick 18 for Seattle.
We thought he was going top 20.
Like, there's no way Josh Simmons gets that far. So
He
we're not even going to
should've.
think about Josh Simmons.
Should
Right?
have been top 20, right? The way he played this year.
So, like, we didn't even consider him because I was like, he's not going to make it past Seattle at 18. Not going to happen. And then he did. So that was like, I'm exactly what Perry's saying here. It was the obvious pick. Like, if you get to that pick and you don't take Josh Simmons, then, and especially in the situation the Chiefs were in where they needed a left tackle, that would have been malpractice, right? Like, you just be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, at worst, he was going to play right tackle, and you probably knew Jawan Taylor. I'm still. Are you still on the fence here with Jawan Taylor? Do you think they are going to cut ties here? Do you think they may try to do something to extend him out?
Honestly, I don't know. I think
With
like,
watching Pole actually come on and play a little bit better, and Jalen Moore hold his
not
own,
looking good for
It's not
Taylor.
looking good for Jawan Taylor. And I know a lot of Chiefs Kingdom's going to be like, well, that was obvious, but I don't think it was so obvious.
I don't think I would be completely surprised if they still didn't work something out with them. They need offensive line depth. We know that. They
Right.
need depth, right? And Taylor hasn't performed up to his contract, no doubt about it. There's an out this year, so they can either cut him, part ways with him, or they could be like, hey,
But if you can
Juwan,
fix it and plug him in and then have Pole and Moore as your swing tackle backups, now you're suddenly you got an extra guy there that's good.
And let's be honest here. When Jawan Taylor cleans his penalties up, which he did
Right.
for a big section of the year, he's good. He's a good tackle. And I think like they could maybe look at that and be like, hey, you can either go on somewhere else, we're going to cut you, or we can restructure a contract, something that makes sense, something that you're worth, something that's
Yeah.
slightly team friendly, and you can stick around here. I think that's probably the conversation they'll have with his
I agree.
agent, and we'll see how that goes. But Sammy Joe with the 2 says, who is Oladokin's backup, Zappy or Kelsey? I don't think, is Zappy even around
Zappy's on the
anymore?
Browns roster.
Yeah.
And I think he's on the actual rosters. You can't even get
the
him.
actual backup after Oladokin is
Noah
Noah
Gray.
Gray. Yeah.
The Chiefs might have to bring in a quarterback this week, though. I don't think they're going into the last 2 games with Noah Gray as your backup quarterback plan. So I think they probably look. Do you think maybe they call up Buffalo and pull Shane Buechele back off that practice squad?
Maybe.
I mean, there
I forgot
he is.
about him.
It would have been Buechele or Zappy.
Bobby
in my opinion,
Buechele.
that was the first 2 I thought about.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. They might have to figure something out with that just in case. I mean, obviously Noah Gray's the emergency quarterback, so you don't want him out there though. Like that's not ideal. So
Yeah.
they absolutely might have to do something like that. Our boy Ron with the 5 bomb says, "Oh my God, you guys are so negative. The truth is the coaching has been ass and figure it out. Patrick every play should be over. Help the man."
Steve, Ron's joking about the negativity, obviously. But when we looked back at this season, there were people doom and glooming at like week 5.
We were
week
the
4.
only channel that was
we
like,
were
hey,
like the most positive channel
positive.
on the internet. And everywhere you could find probably this entire year,
Well,
just saying,
I mean-
look, we still got a shot here. This team is better than they look. And you kind of just seen poor Mahomes when he went down. It was the last straw. Like, it's
Well-
just this team was held together by a big Patrick Mahomes Band-Aid.
Yeah, dude. Well, it was a conscious effort. Don't get us wrong. Like we had the conversation. It was like, look, man, this team is having some trouble. This roster is
Yeah.
having some trouble. The coaches are bad. The fans are going to be upset. And
The
it's
fans
like,
were already kind of checked out since the
Right.
Super Bowl, right?
yeah, and it's like, dude, we understand the situation is a little grim. We get it. But let's approach this with more of a positivity, because every other YouTube channel, every other Chiefs creator in the world was doom and gloom and whatever. And it's like we make a strong point at All Chiefs Up not to blow smoke up anybody's ass, but we can put a positive spin on things to try to keep people in a positive light, because anything that we said, we didn't say anything that was untrue. Like, the Chiefs were still in the mix all the way up until, I think, after the Texans game. It was kind of a wrap, but you could say the Chargers game. The Chiefs were still in the mix. The Chiefs still had the best wide receiver group that they've had the entire time, maybe outside of the Legion of Zoom. I would say that. The offensive line had been improved. Like, it was better than what we had been dealing with. So there were some positives to this team. It just never worked out, dude. It never worked out, but we tried to keep it positive as long as we could. And then now it's time to get real and talk about, what the hell happened and how do we fix it? Where do we go from here? Not that we can do anything about it, but just like, what do you think the team should be focused on?
So at the time of the year when it's time to just like, look, the season's done. There's nothing else to be positive about until we start getting to like maybe draft content. But like, you've got to have some tough conversations this time of the year. And people's going to be like, why do y'all do this? This is what the coaches do. Okay, I get it. It's a podcast. It's a channel.
Hey,
we're here for entertainment.
How many of y'all get to sit in those meetings?
Right.
Like, we're just so
speculating. Everybody's just having a good time speculating. It's fun. This is what football's about. Appreciate you there.
Tiger Atlas says proudly negative.
I mean,
look, man, a lot of Chiefs Kingdom is proudly negative. They've been that way for 50 years.
Yeah.
And like, Mike, you kind of mentioned that yesterday. It's almost to a detriment to where, like, there's a lot of people that are comfortable going back into oblivion.
Yeah, we've heard it time and time again. Well, we had a good run. Boy, it was a good run. Never thought I would see it again. So
I'm going to go back to sucking now because I'm used to that.
And it's like, but wait, you've touched success. You've been at the mountaintop. Why do you want to go back to Mount Crumpet with Grinch? Like, don't do it. Like, just, you're still at the mountaintop. You still got Mahomes. As long as Mahomes is putting a jersey on that says Chiefs on the front of it, you are at the mountaintop. Don't give up now. Like, just because we used to be losers don't mean you want to go back to it. Let's not have that mentality.
Yeah. Calhoun. Yeah. I've seen you in here a lot before. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing good. He said that Josh McDaniel is deserving of another head coaching opportunity as well. I wanted to bring this up because you're not the first person I've seen mention Josh McDaniel. I'm really weird about Josh McDaniel, Mike, because Josh McDaniel is a known cheater.
Where is he now?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I don't even know where he's at, because he was the OC with the Patriots. His players even outed him. His own players outed him. They said that he was so smart that he knew where everybody was going to be on the football field. That they just all thought he was a freaking genius all the time because he was so right about everything. And then Spygate. And then after Spygate, and they couldn't do it anymore, and they couldn't cheat, that's why he started to suck and never did anything after that. That's why he's failed at head coach.
Has there been a documentary about that or something? That'd be very fun to watch, honestly.
Dude, I don't know which players it was, but some of the players that were on that Patriots team, and they go into depth about Josh McDaniel, why he was not good after that.
I remember the documentary about the Michigan Wolverines when they were doing the sign stealing, which honestly, I don't even think that was
maybe
a big
Josh
deal.
McDaniel should go play for Harbaugh, since
You think sign stealing is a big deal?
Yes. Liam Cohen is doing it right now, and I think it is a big deal. I love Liam Cohen, by the way. I thought he would have been great.
Stealing signs?
He 100% is. He had an intricate system on how to steal signs. It's well known. Go look it up. That's all he's been doing all year.
Look, but why is it such a big deal? Because that's the reason quarterbacks have headsets. You talk to your quarterback. Like, if you're still putting in signs for like spread offenses and college type stuff, then that's your own problem.
Well, you have to think of it this way. It might not be illegal. It might not be something that that you can get in trouble for the way he's doing it, but it's kind of like baseball. It's just one of those unwritten rules where don't steal signs. We're going to throw a fastball at your head.
Can I say something?
What?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Eddie Guerrero, remember, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever do it. Cheat to win. Okay? The Patriots built a whole dynasty off of it. And after they got caught 2 or 3 times, guess what? Their fans and all the NFL fans still come over and tell us that our dynasty isn't as good as the cheating dynasty, and that we are the actual cheaters because the refs did it for us.
Right.
So eventually, the truth gets buried under folklore, and it doesn't matter what the truth was anymore. You're just awesome at this point.
Yeah.
So
Mike,
bring in frickin' McDaniels, I guess.
We got a 2-bomb from our boy Chief KT. Says breaking news: Chiefs moving to Kansas. I don't know if that's true or
Didn't
not.
they? Are they having a presser today? Like the governor or something's doing something?
They had a special announcement in Kansas.
Oh, did they already do it?
I don't know. I know they had one planned.
Who's their governor? I forget her name. Christy Smith, is that her name?
Yeah, I know Jackson County. They were pitching the domed arrowhead thing at the last minute, trying to just scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry. I don't care how you view politics or anything like that, and I don't care if you like the guy. I think that I don't live there, so I don't have a dog in the fight, but Mayor Q isn't not it, guys. Like, that guy is selling you out. He's selling you out. Just remember that. Let's see. Tiger Atlas with the 2 says, I was trolling the Susie Sunshine ones. I know what you were doing. We know what you were doing, Romastamo. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about breaking news or anything like that. But I think maybe it's true. I see that Drew says it in the chat too. Have you found anything on it?
No.
I think it's just is it speculation? Because I know they were supposed to be having some kind of special announcement.
The only news that's not happened. The only news was KMBC 2 hours ago saying that lawmakers are reportedly poised to vote on a stadium proposal.
Yeah.
And that Clark Hunt and them may be there.
Dude,
so what are they
this
saying?
out.
If they actually voted in, then Clark Hunt and them's just going to take it right then and there? That's what they think this is about?
I mean, here's what Pro Football Talk had said. They said the Grinch may be bypassing Whoville this Christmas with its sights set on Kansas City, Missouri. Via the Kansas City Star, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly plans to make a special announcement following Monday's meeting of the Kansas Legislative Coordinating Council. At the meeting, key Kansas legislators as poised to discuss a not yet disclosed proposal between the Chiefs and the state of Kansas. So I don't know, man, unless we're missing something. And
Here it is.
Said something.
1 minute ago, Matt Derrick reports Kansas Legislative Coordinating Council is now taking up the discussion of the Star Bonds proposal for a new Chiefs Stadium in Kansas. The council is they're going into a closed session. So they're getting ready to vote today. I don't really know what that means. And 1 minute ago, the Chiefs are signing Shane Buechele off the Buffalo Bills practice squad for Adam
good
Schefter.
call, baby.
Look, quit. Mike knows ball. I don't know how else to explain it.
For love of God, guys, pay attention. We'll tell you how it is.
Shane Buechele back in KC. Do you like it?
Sure.
I don't hate it.
I mean, it doesn't matter ultimately.
I mean, he's went to Buffalo. He's now played under. He's been coached by some of the best in KC. He's had Joe Brady for a year. He's been behind Mahomes and Josh Allen. If this guy can't run an offense by now, get him out.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
We got the legend in the house, Chris Wright, been a member for 29 months. This KC Sports Report did resume dive on our running back and wide receivers coaches, Connor and Todd, talking about Connor Embry and Todd Pinkston. He said, oh, my God, is it pathetic? Why are they NFL coaches? Mike, you've been saying this. You've been saying this for days. Like, there's no reason. Like, what are they even doing? Like, Todd Pinkston was a mid-receiver back in the day, and he's a running back coach. And then we got Connor Embry, who'd coached some high school. Like,
He was high school. He done like a teaching assistant job or something like that in Kansas or something for like a year. A coaching assistant. I don't remember what it was. It was something really stupid. But yeah, and then he basically comes in. Dude, look, you didn't need KC Sports Network to do a deep dive for you. Just go to Kansas City's website, go click the coaches tab. You can go down the list and just read their bio. And let me tell you, there's none on there that look really good.
looking a little rough. Mike Perry with the 2 says Sam McDowell tweet I put in chat. I didn't see it, but I don't sound like Sam McDowell's it. It's going to be Shane Buechele. Or who's Sam McDowell? I'm thinking of Sam.
McDowell says, no, Sam McDowell said breaking the Chiefs have informed.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Sam McDowell's the one that done
Why did
the
I
whole
have
entire-
Sam Howell in my head? And I thought he was trying to say we're going to go get Sam Howell.
No, Sam McDowell is he's the one that like reported on how
I know
the
who you're
Chiefs
talking
did the
about.
play calling.
Yeah.
But anyways, he said breaking the Chiefs have informed administrative officials that they will announce their move to Kansas today, pending the expected LCC approval. So
Bro,
basically, if the LCC
y'all
approves,
city's
they're
about to
gonna
blow up, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get real interesting. Dude, how about this? The Chiefs having like the worst year they've had in 13, 14 years, and then they come out on the tail end of it while everybody's down in the dumps, and they're like, dude, do you think this was a... Have you ever seen Major League where the owner tanks on purpose
Is this what
to
they
move
tank
the
to
city?
move? Are they pulling like
Andy
the
should have
Raiders
put-
leaving Oakland?
Andy should have put a cardboard cutout of Clark Hunt in there, and every time they won a game, he took a piece of clothes off.
Oh yeah. Where's
That way
Joe
they
Boo?
could've-
We were supposed to have Joe Boo this season too. We didn't do it.
Bro.
We've got Bob Fesco actually posted a picture. He's there. Look at this. Donovan and Clark Hunt coming in just looking pissed off.
That's
like
business.
Dude,
That's
they
business
wanna,
face.
Hey, that's we want the hell out of Missouri face right there.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you what, nothing pisses off a nice rich owner than to say, "You will not take 3/8 of my sins." like that. Look, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to rib anybody for taking that because, like I said, I explained it last time. Kansas City has taxed you all into oblivion. Everybody in the world has been taxed into oblivion. And look, you took a stand on something.
Wrong time.
You took it wrong time. But this is it. You called the bluff. They called
They've
the
called
bluff.
your bluff.
And look, your entire city sold you out. And I'm going to tell you why. They taxed you all so much that y'all got tired of it. And then when something important happened that you all loved, you all thought you were doing something good, you got owned. And I'm telling you, that's America in a nutshell right there. Tax you until you do something stupid and then you screw it up again. That's life, dude. But yeah, Q and all them guys there in Kansas City, it's a mess. No wonder they're wanting out of there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, it sucks, man. Sometimes the people that are in high places, they're going to sell you out.
Look, just the fact that where Kansas City Stadium's located, Arrowhead, that whole place, that brings in families to baseball
Garbage
games,
around
families to
it.
football games, and that city has allowed that whole entire thing to be nothing but crime-ridden and all kinds of stuff. They won't get nothing
There's nothing
together.
there. There's nothing
Yeah.
there.
They won't clean it up. They won't crack down on the crime. They won't do anything they're supposed to do as a freaking community. And of course you're going to get out of there.
Yeah, I'll say this. That's a huge thing. Like, don't take it lightly. If they announce they're moving to Kansas today, that's massive. That's huge. Arrowhead is legendary. It's iconic. Everybody loves it. It's like part of just, loving the Chiefs in general.
If they
Like, it's
announce
part
that,
of it.
we're
But-
starting a GoFundMe to all Chiefed Up can own Arrowhead. We're not tearing it down. We're just going to own it. We're buying
gonna
it
buy
out.
it?
And we're doing every show live from Arrowhead.
From the
and
50-yard
everybody's
line.
welcome in.
Yeah, let's go.
We're going to turn it into like Green Bay. We're all going to be owned. The stadium's going to be owned by whoever wants in, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be really honest about it. As much as you love Arrowhead, as much as I love Arrowhead, as iconic as it is, as much of the identity of the Chiefs that is Arrowhead. I mean, a loudest stadium in the world. You get that 13th man, or 12th man, whatever it is. Anyway, I don't know why I couldn't count.
Hey, we're that much louder than Seattle. Put a 13th man.
Yeah,
out there.
exactly. Either way, my point is this. You have to be real about it. And if they build a new stadium or a new dome, it's going to be nicer. It's going to be more accommodating for the players. It's going to the town around it is going to be much better than what they have in Raytown. Like it's like everything positive is on the side of moving to Kansas, other than history.
Look,
That's it. That's all Arrowhead has going for. It's history. You could renovate it. You're putting lipstick on a
Right.
pig. I mean,
it's just nothing more. It's just depressing. It's just
It
called
is.
the world keeps spinning. And look, we're all dinosaurs. We're all going to croak. And this is just another thing that they're taking away from me while I'm on Earth. Okay. They've torn down my entire childhood town. They've torn down our baseball fields. They've torn down our school. They've torn down our grandmother's home. Okay. It doesn't matter. Everything that I knew is gone. Take Arrowhead too. By the time we all leave this earth, Steve, everything's going to be different. So it's just part of the process. We're just old, crotchety old men that don't want to see it happen, I guess. But It's going to happen, it looks like. I'm not a big fan of the Dome. I kind of like the outdoor presence of Arrowhead and the way that stadium was built to put that John Elway effect on them. I loved all that. And I don't know if the Dome's going to have that same effect. It's going to feel like you're just going to another game in another place. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to have that same Arrowhead feel to it. I really don't. It might get too commercial, too generic. And they're only doing this to try to get a freaking Super Bowl. And guess what? I wouldn't have tried to appease anything in the NFL after they completely shit on you all season to try to prove a point. Like the NFL just sold us out this year. It's not that they were begging for calls or nothing. That's not the point. But they went out and actively worked against us half the time because they didn't want to be, seen as helping the Chiefs, even when the right calls were supposed to be there.
Right. I mean, I don't think they've announced where, like, they haven't announced anything yet, but I don't think they've actually come out and just said where it's going to be at.
It's probably going to be near Legends, right?
It's definitely going to be in the Legends district in Wyandotte County. That's where it's going to be at. And like you mentioned, dude, I just think the surroundings of that, I mean, it is what it is. And here's the thing about it. I saw someone in the chat say, but they're a Kansas City team. It's dumb that they're moving. Kansas City is Kansas City. I know y'all don't believe it and y'all hate it and you hate it, but from the outside looking in, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, it's the same. Kansas City,
people don't
downtown,
even know it's in Missouri.
Right. The downtown area is obviously Missouri, so that's what you think about when you think of Kansas City. But I mean, it's literally still a Kansas City team.
So if
it's
they
still
move,
the Chiefs.
If they move somewhere near the Legends, from Arrowhead now to where Legend Stadium is, it's about 23, 25 miles, somewhere in that area. Yep. So, I mean, think about that. You're another 20 miles away. You could have lived within walking distance of that stadium, and now you're going to have to go 25 miles. It's wild.
But think about the opportunities that are getting ready to open up for the Chiefs. So you're at a turning point in a dynasty to where you have to rebuild. They're talking about moving the team, which that wouldn't happen to what, 2030 something?
2030, I think, is when they lose the lease. So they got time to build the stadium.
Yeah. So maybe by the time they get to that new stadium, they'll have a few more Lombardis to put in there, you think?
Yeah, maybe. But does it not still feel like it feels like if you renovated Arrowhead the right way, if you upgraded the stuff for the players, if you give the fans something to vote on rather than just VIP entrances and, nothing really of importance that what they got to vote on. If you'd have just done it the right way, yes, you're putting lipstick on a pig, is what people's going to say, because it's an old stadium. But it's an iconic stadium. And it's Arrowhead. I think it's more iconic than Lambeau.
I think it is.
So here's the thing.
I think it is.
You're going to tear that down to do a brand new commercialized stadium that has no soul in it. Half your fan base is now pissed off because now they got to go to Kansas. Like, it just, you're building on the wrong leg, in my opinion.
Doesn't that start from the fan base? First of all, you're saying it has no soul and it has no soul. We'll take it there. Make it what it needs to be. It's all about the fan base. The Kansas City Chiefs as a franchise and the fan base
Arrowhead's got that mystique and it's built.
It does, but I'm just saying sometimes you have to accept change in life. There's no going back. You can't keep the same thing forever. You never can.
Like, look, the Raiders thought they were doing something by going to Vegas, and that thing has no soul. It looks like you're playing in a Wembley Stadium replica or something, and the Chiefs own it over them. And it's like, it doesn't have the same feel as the LA Coliseum and all that stuff.
But how do you get a new place to have that feel? It's the fan base. It's the way it's approached. It's the way the fan base goes to games and goes nuts. And
it kind of feels like those movies back in the day, all those teen rom-coms back from the 90s and the 2000s, where they all, the girl had her ponytail up and she wore little wireframe glasses. She was a little nerd, but all they had to do was take her hair down, put a little lipstick on her. She was hot. It was like Jessica Biel. Mm-hmm. That's what the Chiefs. It's like we were picked on for 40 years and nobody liked us. And then as soon as we got popular, we're going to take our opportunity to up and do all this, man. And I don't know.
John Hale with the greatest point of the day. Most fans believe Kansas City is in Kansas anyway.
What I'm saying.
Now they could be politically correct going to Kansas.
Dude, how many times, Steve, do we say we're heading to Kansas City this weekend to go watch a game or something? Everybody's like, have fun in Kansas. And it's
everyone says it.
Well, I'll probably cross into Kansas a few times, but that's not where I'm going. Dude, I
Everyone
don't know.
says
Do
that.
you think my thing's right? Does it feel like the Chiefs kind of got a little bit of success, got a little bit popular, and now they're taking the advantage to do all the things that's like they've always wanted to
Of
do?
course. But here's the thing. I don't want people talking out both sides of their mouth, because everyone that talks about how great Arrowhead is and all that, they're also the same ones that are going to get on here and report to you every year. The Chiefs have the worst management. They have the worst facilities. They don't do nothing for their players. Blah,
That's
blah,
true.
blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, when they decide to do that, then you cry that they're moving. But I'm sorry, you can't put lipstick on a pig like we've been saying. Arrowhead is Arrowhead. It is what it is. You either go with that and you get what you get as far as the player accommodations and everything else, or you build a new facility that's up to date, modern, and can actually accommodate these guys to the level of some of these other places. I mean, you can't do both. Like,
But you can't bring in the renovation, those twin brothers from the HGTV channel to come in and modernize Arrowhead somehow. Like, you can make the internals of Arrowhead Stadium be modern. It's the same way if you go flip a house. You can buy a house built in 1900 and make it look modern. You can put in a new refrigerator that connects to your iPhone. Look, I don't know. I'm sentimental. I love Arrowhead, but at the same time, again, Kansas City is a mess. Jackson County is a mess, and they screwed it up. They got played by a governor that knew what she was doing. Is what they did.
yeah, sounds like it.
That's exactly what
Sounds
happened.
like it.
Q got taken to school.
Hey, regardless, it's always going to be the Chiefs. I think everybody got to chill a little bit. I saw somebody say that, well, most of the fans are in Missouri. That might be correct geographically. Like, oh, there's more Kansas City Chiefs fans in Missouri than there is in Kansas. Sure. But, I mean, overall, there's more fans outside of the state of Kansas and Missouri
combined.
Look, they don't even live there, you know? So
do you think by the time 2030 comes around, they've built a new stadium? Dude, Patrick Mahomes is almost going to be at the end of his career.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new. It's going to be a whole new era of Chiefs.
Yeah, they may be begging him to play 5 more years, but are they just going to go ahead and do everything at one time? They just going to move a new stadium, change the name. Let's be politically correct there too. Let's cave to that as well. Let's go the Commander route. Let's change the name. Let's move them to a new stadium. Let's change the colors. Before we know it, this is going to be a whole new different franchise.
Now you sound like a crazy old man.
I'm trying.
That's some crazy stuff. Do you really think?
Wait, you think that I'm crazy for saying the Chiefs may cave to the politically incorrect crowd or whatever they are, the hoodlums of the world?
Look, man, I
that don't like the name Chiefs.
You can't trust billionaires. You can't trust those guys. But I have full faith that Clark Hunt is not going to tarnish his dad's legacy on his watch. He's not going to change the name of the team. He's not going to do any of that. And you could say, oh, well, he's moving from Arrowhead. Well, that's funny. That's cool and all. But the Chiefs didn't start in Arrowhead.
No,
like,
but
remember
Lamar
that.
helped build that bad boy.
Remember that. The Chiefs didn't start there. It's not like it's the only place they've ever played. Like, so, I mean, you're just going the extra mile. You're pouring gasoline on the fire that is the old guys are like, they're going to take away everything we love. You know, so
I think it's true.
No, I think you're full of shit.
I think it's true. We're going to be called the Kansas City Kings or something.
Matter
of fact, they're just going to pull the city out of it. It's just going to be the Kansas Kings now. And we're all going to have to wear crowns around on our stupid heads. And then they're going to say that's a monarchy and we don't like kings in this country. And then they'll protest that one. And then we'll have to change it again.
Mike,
every 3 years.
You're wild. I feel like we're going to go on this note because Mike's just getting off the rails here.
I'm just trying to tell you how it is,
Full
man.
on delusional.
We're on a downhill slide.
Shut up, dude.
This is what happens when you do Hallmark movies, Steve. Hallmark takes over.
Buffalo's next.
Buffalo, you're building a new stadium. Guess what? They're going to move that thing to Canada.
They're going to move it completely out of the country.
We're called the Buffalo Mountaineers. How do they talk in Canada?
They're going to be called they're going to be called the Ace.
It's like a French, right? Hey, the Mounties. Josh Allen looks like
I'm
a
sorry,
Mountie.
eh? Yeah. Well, this is getting ridiculous. But, guys, appreciate y'all being here. Do us a favor. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out Zarda and DraftKings for sponsoring today's live stream. So make sure you download DraftKings. Use the promo code ACU. Get over to Zarda. Grab yourself some food. It'll make you feel better. You can get one, and you can go to Blue Springs or Lenexa. So no matter how you're feeling about this stadium thing, you can still enjoy some Zarda.
Somebody send me a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'll,
So do
I'll
that.
Cash App you. Just send me something out. Even if it's stale and old. I mean, I've been watching Andy Reid. I've been digesting that offense. It's been stale for 3 years.
Been
I
digesting
can
that.
I can do a KC takeaway. Okay.
Yep. Keep those eyes out for the podcast coming out tomorrow, guys, and enjoy your family. Enjoy the holidays here, and we'll be putting out content this week, so keep an eye out, and we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.
Get wild.